Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C, Pattern of Conduct, real-time documentation of the state of California's criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California in violation of existing federal law, that is 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is ongoing documentation that is specifically gathered following my release from kidnapping by this entity that was ceaselessly monitoring in violation of 18 U.S.C. and in violation of Title 15 and in violation of the Prison Rape Elimination Act, as I was subject to the same exact criminal pattern of conduct while kidnapped by this entity seeking to conceal this criminal system that I am documenting and publishing and exposing on the venue of the internet, where I am also subject to the criminal pattern of conduct, and understand that kidnapping is the pattern of conduct that is criminal obstruction of justice, as the entity seeks to avoid prosecution and to avoid documentation and exposure for engaging in this criminal system. The people of the state are the vicarious aspect of the entity. They are engaging in federal stalking as I am kidnapped by the state inside of the state facilities, all right? And they are fully engaging in kidnapping upon criminal summoning. So this is the this is the entity from beginning to the end engaging in the criminal acts of the federal stalking and the acts of criminal obstruction of justice. This is also documentation on the venue of the internet engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct via obstruction of justice, and this is in any way reducing or removing the ability to publish the ongoing documentation of the state's criminal pattern of conduct, which is waging an ongoing threat to my life as I remain subject to this criminal system. And this is the criminal pattern of conduct on the venue of the internet, okay? And that is the totality of what I have documented since release. I was kidnapped from June 18, 2021 from third-party facilitating venue of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police Department were monitoring, and this in conformity to the ongoing wealth of documentation that I have already published, specifically revealing the Ontario Police Department engaging in monitoring and kidnapping, which was via the assertion of a fictitious warrant pursuant to a fictitious prosecution. That is the people of the state of California v. Erica Lorraine Spencer, case number Mary Wendy Victor 2000640. I was subject to kidnapping pursuant to this fictitious prosecution, documentation on the facility cameras everywhere that I was inside of the facility of West Valley, located at 9700 Etiwana Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, California, and at the state facilitating venue of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, located at 8303 Haven Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, and I was subject to federal stalking ceaselessly at the jail, at the courthouse, in the courtrooms, okay? The same exact pattern of conduct ceaselessly underway. The kidnapping serves obstruction of justice, and that this is kidnapping that I endured from June 18th, 2021 up until August 16th, 2021. This is the P.O.C.
It is Thursday, August 26, 2021, and it is currently 8:56 a.m. I just captured video so you can see where I'm starting at and where the state is starting with its fake sun based on where I'm at. And there's so many angles that you're looking at this. First of all, before 7 a.m., 6:56 a.m. when I'm in the vehicle in the vehicle on Fern Avenue at 630 North Fern. And then I proceed to the intersection of Fern and G Street so that you can get a good vantage point of where the state's fake sun is ahead of schedule, okay? Because I'm going day by day where you're seeing where the state is doing while I'm sleeping at the museum, where the state is starting its fake sun. The fake sun is rising where I am, okay? And that's what I'm showing you. And this is what I've already shown you. This is post-release from kidnapping by the state, because I am exposing what the state is engaging in. And so I'm in a different location, even in a different direction. And the state is in plain conflict with its documented activity. All right. And this is, like I have stated, mutually exclusive conduct with that which is not the sun. So this is 8:57 a.m. and the state's fake sun at this time, as I showed just yesterday, the day before yesterday, and the day before that. The state's fake sun. Oh, and the day before that, because, well, actually, I've already shown this on every single day when I'm showing you the fake sun, but I'm focused right now. The latest example that I was using is the third party group stalker, the criminal, the brand that is Starbucks, that is engaging in sexually violating an American citizen, okay, a patron, all right, engaging in terrorism of an American citizen in concert with an entity, okay, engaging in criminal facilitation of that sexually violent and perverted and targeting conduct. This is Starbucks, the brand, the company that you see all over the television. This is documented criminal activity of Starbucks, all right? And this is the Starbucks that's engaging in federal stalking, monitoring an American citizen with communication devices. Starbucks is identified by those who are working there. Those who are working there are demon-possessed stalkers. That's exactly what I'm exposing. That's exactly what Starbucks is linked with. That's exactly what Starbucks is engaging in, and then engaging in summoning that criminal that they're monitoring with in order to avoid further documentation, in order to communicate an intensified threat, or while aware of the documentation that is very damning. Okay. At this time, it's 8:58 a.m. And at this time yesterday and the day before yesterday and the day before that, the state's fake sun at this same exact time is in alignment with me while I'm inside of 507 North Euclid Avenue, which is east of where I am, inside of the car. And just like when I was on G Street, the state's fake sun was aiming inside of the windshield of that vehicle as the state's fake sun remained in straight alignment with me, parallel, a perfect parallel line with me while it stood at that intersection over the street sign of Euclid and G Street as I proceed to walk east toward that intersection and then walk south toward Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. Okay. State's fake sun does what? It remains in direct alignment with me, just like I showed you on video, just like I narrated on my podcast. You see, you're looking at it for yourself. And you're looking at what I did going from the opposite direction as I walked from the museum. The day prior, I walked from the museum, which is meaning I walked north from the Ontario Museum of History and Arts to 507 North Euclid Avenue. The state's fake sun is nowhere even in the direction of being at the intersection of G Street and Euclid. Doesn't even go up that far because I wasn't at that location. The state's fake sun goes from the top of the building, the center of the property of the Ontario Museum, because that's where I was standing. The state's fake sun remaining over that property after 10 a.m., 10, 11, 12 p.m. Okay, I've documented this, and also present as early as 7 a.m. This is on a totally opposite sides of what is the same street, Euclid Avenue. Okay, and this is north and south. Okay, so you're on opposite sides. You're at 7 a.m. over me at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. And this is the same time of year, by the way, I documented it, but I'm showing you it's not based on, this is not the sun. It's not based on, but this is how thorough my documentation is, showing you that this is not based on any sort of time of year. I've got documentation to establish that. This is not based on the time of day. The state is remaining all day, remaining over the same location, the same address where I'm at all day long, and doing so everywhere that I'm at. This is not based on the time of day. There is no consistency. The state is stalking with this light source, and it is impossible to be consistent when you are stalking because you're not the leader. All right. If the state was leading, the state's fake sun would have to be consistent and remain over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, for example, which is south of where I'm located, and I would be looking at a different direction in order to capture what is quote unquote the sun. All right. That is not the sun. That is directly over this vehicle right now at 8:52 a.m. That's when I captured it. And it's aiming light inside of the passenger side of the car. All right. Not even at the intersection of G Street and Euclid. Okay. But then again, that was 6:50, 7 a.m., 7:50 a.m. 8:52 a.m. It's in alignment with 630 North Fern Avenue. This is Tracy Banks creating audible activity under the fake sun. Yes. The mall's not open right now. It's 9 o'clock. You can open the door. The mall's not open. It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it should be.
The mall doesn't open until like 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to go, do you want want a breakfast burrito? I'll heat one up for you.
No, I'm fine. You got any fruit?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, that's fine. No, I'm good.
You can go to Staters. You want me to drive you to Staters?
Okay, it's 9:01 a.m. I'll continue my analysis in a second. This is P.O.C. too, but hold on 1 second. It is 9:02 a.m. and just like I stated, impossible light activity as third parties travel on Fern Avenue, and the state is amplifying plane activity while she's standing here talking to me. It is 9:03 a.m. That is P.O.C. All right, that's the exact same activity creation, by the way. Tracy Banks coming and knocking on the door.
so you can get some air. Is it getting hot in here?
Yeah, this fake sun is over your car. It gets warm. Okay. It's 9:04 a.m. and I just want to be clear that's the exact same activity creation. And okay, while she's standing there talking to me, talking about, oh, I'll get you a breakfast burrito. Do you want to go with me? Whatever she's saying, it's audible activity. Okay, the state is much like the Ontario Police Department. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, what I'm dealing with. First of all, I'm dealing with demons, all right? And they are focused on. Demonic activity is premised upon the outward appearance of things. And so I am piercing through that veil, and you're showing what is an ongoing criminal system that's in operation, and it is entirely demented. They are stalking while they're creating audible activity. The ongoing environment this is exactly what they were doing in Starbucks as well. They're walking around looking like they're just about, entering in to get coffee, or doing their mobile order, walking in to get their coffee, standing in line, waiting to get their coffee, chatting, working, sweeping the floor, whatever it is. And this ongoing carnival of lights is all around them. All right. And they're acting like it's not there. That's a psychopath. They're engaging in criminal activity and outwardly conducting themselves as though it's not happening, as though it's not there. And this is supposed to be one that depicts the targeted individual as absolutely out of their mind, okay? But for documentation. But for myself, spelling out what is ongoing, all right? This ongoing activity was in operation while Officer Guerrero with the Ontario Police Department, who did not need to ask me my full name. We're not best friends. I've encountered him before. But he knows. That officer wrote down my full name, wrote down my driver's license number, okay? Did not ask me a question. Put down my weight and height, even though I didn't ask him. And actually, it's not, he put me like 1 inch too tall and 10 pounds too heavy, but whatever. That's not neither here nor there. My point is, and honestly, even that was intentional, to act like they don't know precisely. They know exactly who I am. And that's not because I spoke with him before. You heard the conversation. Understand, the Ontario PD engaging in the same exact monitoring conduct, intentionally sending one who I have conversed with before. This does not mean that he has my driver's license number memorized. Sending one that would have an excuse, that would have some form of having some basis to state that they're familiar with me, even though that's not even necessary. They're monitoring, and it does not change, just like I stated to him, just like I've stated in my documentation. The state's fake son is remaining over that Starbucks while he's there talking, trying to be friendly with his audible activity, while this ongoing carnival of lights is appearing all over the Starbucks. And this is the same conduct that was occurring inside of the Starbucks while I'm documenting those minions who were aware of what it is that I'm documenting. This is the reality, and they are entirely hostile to it. I provided very damning documentation. If you review the videos in a very few days, every single hallmark. The state stalking via sirens, the state stalking via helicopter, the state stalking via aircraft, the state stalking with its fake sun remaining for the duration of the day, the state's impossible light activity, not only in the private space, but remaining inside of the venue. That is every single last hallmark that I documented at that particular venue. All right, so you were talking about what is extreme hostility to the exposure of what are psychopaths, demon possession, because that's what it is revealing, in addition to what is criminal monitoring. So I'm surrounded by demons who are severely hostile to that. Tracy Banks is standing here talking to me right now about getting me orange juice and a breakfast burrito, and the impossible light activity sweeping across the house of 630 North Fern and the house next door, while the state's fake sun is directly above, and that is impossible light activity as well. Sunlight is not shooting like a laser to the left and the right of vehicles while they're driving all over. This is the same exact pattern of conduct, and it is the same indication of a demonic environment, speaking to those who are demonically possessed that are all around a relevant position. This is the system. Okay, while she is creating audible activity in the fake sun, aware of the analysis that I'm creating right now on my podcast. This is why she comes and interrupts. She's creating activity. She's monitoring me, okay, and posing the same threat. So this is what I'm saying. This is exactly what the Ontario Police Department were doing yesterday. This is exactly what they were doing inside of Starbucks. And like I was stating, at 9 a.m., the state's fake sun is east and south of this location to be in alignment with me at 9 o'clock in the morning. And hours from now, at 11, at 12, at 1, at 2, the state's fake sun is over my head as I'm standing on the sidewalk, remaining for hours. The sidewalk of 507 North Euclid Avenue in front of Starbucks. You are not going to see the fake sun right here over 630 North Fern Avenue, aiming light inside onto the bottom. On the passenger side, it's very precise where the state aims its light because it's where I'm at. And this is not possible to exist. This would not be visible. I would not be able to capture it if that was the sun that I'm capturing as I'm standing on the sidewalk over my head, as I'm inside of the venue, moving inside of the venue, and the state's fake sun is moving, keeping in alignment with me, stalking with light. All right. That's the conduct that I'm capturing. And that is the context of everything that is ongoing. And those Ontario police officers were monitoring with Starbucks. They were acting as one, okay, and intending to keep me from that venue that I was entirely documenting and exposing. All right. That is animosity shown with a smile on its face. Understand the outward form is irrelevant. So you're talking about the ordinary target individual, which shall in no way be blocked from or obstructed from the ability to prosecute a public entity, and establishing that pattern of conduct is the absolute removal. Legally speaking, it is the removal of any credibility of that entity. You are seeing how they are liars. Third parties are liars. You're talking about a government that's working together against an individual. Where you are establishing that pattern of conduct, you don't have credibility. The government is no longer coated with this presumption of legitimacy, which the government is accustomed to. Saying because a court says a court hearing occurred, you're just assuming that it happened. And I'm showing you how that is absolutely not the case. They're a criminal. They're monitoring. All right. They're engaging in criminal obstruction of justice. They have no legitimacy. Everything is up for question. Documentation is establishing what's happening. All right. And moreover, where kidnapping is a part of the fact pattern, that targeted individual's direct testimony shall suffice. All right, because the government is engaged in an egregious level of criminal activity. Third parties lack any credibility. Everything that they are saying is nothing but audible activity. Documentation is establishing what is ongoing, not what they claim, not what they are assuming what one group is saying versus one individual is more powerful. And that is not the truth. And that is not what documentation establishes. You're showing what is an entity acting via the people. And not only this is demonic, these are psychopaths that are engaging in what is analogous to a bullying system. And you're flipping that on its head. So you're documenting the bully who has been stripped of all of its outward form, providing it any notion of legitimacy, which it does not have. It's monitoring. It's a criminal, and it is a desperate criminal trying to conceal that fact. Wants the fact that it's a psychopath to remain a secret. Wants the fact that demon possession is what is ruling. Wants to keep that a secret, and that has already been blown out of the water. My documentation is already published on the internet. Prosecution is inevitable. I'm going to prosecute. They are going to federal prison. I am not kidding. The more they engage every single act of kidnapping, the Ontario Police Department is going to pay for that. They're going to be prosecuted. They are going to federal prison. Engaging in the acts of criminal obstruction of justice where you don't even have any probable cause. You're monitoring. This is already established. You're intensifying that which you are not avoiding. They're going to federal prison. And the people of the state of California that are engaging in that criminal system with them, all right, they're monitoring. The entire entity is aware of where I'm sleeping at night, where I'm going, when I'm using the bathroom, when my panties are down, when my genitalia is exposed, and they're engaging in the same stalking conduct, the same demonic light activity, and they are engaging in trying to find a way to obstruct that. You're going to federal prison for that. And that's the bottom line. You're talking about the intensification of that punishment, which is federal prison. You're talking about the exposure of what is mental issues, serious mental issues, which is brought into question where the entity is monitoring because it's demonic. So that is going to be an aspect of that punishment for engaging in federal stalking. And you're also talking about what is the creation of policy, very intense policy because of the nature of the crime, because of the actor that is the entity that is acting in concert with the people. That's what they're doing, engaging in multiple acts of kidnapping. That's what they're doing, engaging in ongoing threats and terrorism. That's what they're accomplishing. Okay. Because this is happening. This is not occurring for naught, in other words. So I am exposing while I'm kidnapping the pattern of conduct. I am creating policy while I'm subject to kidnapping and demonstrating what is the pattern of conduct. Kidnapping is the pattern of conduct. All right. And you are kidnapping because you're monitoring. All right. You don't have probable cause. You don't have reasonable suspicion. You don't have a basis to say, oh, I know you're still monitoring. That same environment remains while you're smiling and trying to be friendly with your audible activity. That same threat to my life exists. And you're speaking on behalf of the targeted individual who was not armed with documentation, who was not creating some policy such that another person will be able to enforce their rights. The ordinary targeted individual is reasonably terrified and traumatized, fear-stricken, okay? And color depicted falsely as out of their mind, very much likely trapped inside of a mental ward. all right, trapped by the system that the state has intended. I am exposing what the state is engaging in, how it engages in it, and why it engages in it. And what is the core cause? Because this is demon possession made manifest. For you to understand what that looks like. Demon possession is not what you think it is. It's not what you see on the Disney Channel and on Nickelodeon at Nick at Night. That's not what it is. You just listened to it right now while she came and asked me if I wanted a breakfast burrito, while she is standing under what is not the sun, all right, while impossible light activities all over the surfaces around her while she's standing in front of me. And appearing at the moment where I am speaking to what is analysis of that exposure of that system that's in operation, that damns her. She's part of the same entity that I'm documenting. Everything that they are engaging in is revealing that which is demonic, and it's revealing what is ongoing monitoring conduct. It's 9:14 a.m., and that's the state's fake sun, as I captured in video, over 630 North Friend Avenue. And this is exactly what the state was doing as I was in Tracy Banks' vehicle in 2019 and early 2020, what I was documenting. Before I honed in on the state's fake sun aspect, but this is exactly what the state was doing, flying over this vehicle day in and day out by plane and helicopter, flying over my vehicle the same way. You will see in the videos the state's fake sun that's over my car. At Vine. And this is never going to occur. How does this exist when you're over every other venue where I've shown the state's keeping its fake sun literally in alignment with me over that venue? And then when I'm on the freeway or I'm on some street in a different city, the state's fake sun is still in that zenith over my head and remaining in the very precise location in the window, in the windshield of the vehicle that I'm at. Whether it's a state vehicle kidnapped by the state, on a San Bernardino Sheriff bus, San Bernardino Sheriff van, all right, or rather I'm in a third-party vehicle on Omnitrans or on Metrolink, which is actually a state actor, all right? It's the P.O.C. It's 9:15 a.m.
All right, it is 11:27 a.m. and the impossible light activity that I captured upon entrance at 10 a.m. remains right there above the staircase, which is absolutely impossible light activity. That is an outright threat. And I'm glad that third party did that. You're talking about the sex offender that comes inside of the bathroom to monitor. There is no form. The people are engaging in monitoring inside of a private space, stalking inside of that private space. Okay, that's the kidnapper, that's the sex offender, that's the terrorist that comes in and monitors. Okay, this is 11:28 a.m. That's P.O.C. And she'll be seen on surveillance cameras wearing blue jeans. She's got on capri jeans. Her hair is down, half up and half down, with sandals. She's walking out of the bathroom right now, 11:28 a.m. She represents the people. The state is aiming impossible light activity onto the staircase. That's a threat. And entering inside of the bathroom in order to monitor. She's stalking. You can flush the toilet, use the bathroom all you want. That's the entity that's coming in the bathroom that is monitoring you. Okay, and monitoring while your panties are down, okay, creating activity while they're stalking in that private space, because that's the reality of what they're engaging in. It's 11:28 a.m. That's the library, Ontario Over Family Community Library, P.O.C. All right, what I did capture on video, I want to make sure because memory is very short, not only for third parties in the state, but those who are observing what it is that I'm exposing. And so you're going to recall what the state is doing with its fake sun everywhere that I have documented it. And at the same time, not only is the state's fake sun remaining over me at the museum, okay, it is directly over the south side of the museum as I am at the museum, the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. Okay, and this is distinct from being over the entrance, over my head where I'm standing in front of 215 East C Street. That is a progression north. And that is actually not just north, that is progression north and then east to be over the entrance. And that is within minutes, and that is entirely distinct while it is maintaining that same central position over my head. Okay, you're looking at the light activity that the state is aiming inside of the venue. You're also witnessing the ongoing directed light activity, the multiple shadows. Okay, the light under shaded areas, the shadow activity, which is light activity. Shadow is the trajectory of light. That is movement in light. That's how you create light activity. And so what I captured on video, again, you're recalling the totality of the big picture, and this is how you're seeing what the state is doing with light. Not only is the state's fake sun at this time remaining over 507 North Euclid Avenue, the Starbucks, that engaged in criminal summoning of the entity as it is hostile to the wealth of documentation that I accumulated in a very short amount of time, showing what is demonic activity and showing what is criminal monitoring. You have what is the state's fake sun, which is squarely over my head at 507 North Euclid Avenue, and what I intentionally showed was also the absence of any sun even in the direction of 215 East C Street, this library, where the fake sun is squarely over my head. The fake sun is in alignment with me while it is remaining over that building. After this time at 12:17, it's 12:17 right now. Understand, well after 4 p.m. what I just showed yesterday, which was August 25th, yesterday after 4 p.m. And I am standing in the parking lot behind 507 North Euclid Avenue, and the state's fake sun is over the same building while I'm on the sidewalk in front of the building. And then as I go to the back parking lot and I document all those group stalkers' license plates, the state's light source is over the same venue. It's over the parking lot. It is not even in the direction of being over 215 East C Street, which is the Ontario Open Family Community Library, right at 215 East C Street. This is impossible to coexist, all right? It's impossible because you're looking at the plain absence of it, and then while I'm there, you're looking at it blatantly right over my head, in addition to the light activity that the state is aiming inside of the venue, where it is at the same exact time over my head at the Ontario Open Family Community Library, over my head at the 507 North Euclid Avenue Starbucks. It is directly over the 646 West Hope Boulevard. This morning, it was at 630 North Fern Avenue. And at the same time, I'm capturing it in that same position at a different, entirely distinct, in a different direction, in an entirely distinct location where I would not be able to capture it if that was actually the sun that I captured before I'm capturing it on this current day. Okay, and so this is what you're looking at, an ongoing progression of what is blatant following around with a light source that is stalking with light. Okay, and so inside of the Ontario, I'm speaking to this because what you're looking at is while I am at the library earlier than I have been. So at 11, and when I enter at 10 a.m., you're looking at what is impossible light activity, and not only that which I've already captured inside of this venue. Okay, and the state is engaging in what I pointed out that was new. Okay, this is different than what the state was doing with directed light. First of all, it was never present over the staircase before, so putting it down to the depths of that spiraling staircase is different activity conduct. All right, the state engaged in different conduct with its impossible light, so you're paying attention to that. You're also paying attention to and why is that relevant? Because the actual sun is not engaging in a whole bunch of various different conduct. That's the state that is engaging in inconsistent and different conduct with its directed light. Okay, so you have what is also the fact that if the actual sun were visible in the sky above 215 East C Street, it is not going to result in this concentrated light all over the elevator down the staircase. Okay, this is directed light. This is concentrated directed light, which is not ordinary light. This is the state's directed light. This is that artificial. This is that engineered light, which I have shown you what it is capable of doing. Shadows on both sides of me on surfaces. All right, doing what is abnormal conduct of light. This is the state's engineered light. This is not sunlight, and that is also not the sun. But what I captured today is, in the video, what you will see is, first of all, the remaining of this directed light in the same location. It has the pattern of the staircase on it, which is speaking to the trajectory of that directed light. And at the same time, the state is aiming directed light. It's speaking and what is supposed to be under the guise of what that, which is the sun. Okay, that's what the state is doing. It's acting like this is the sun that's creating all of this light. This is natural occurring. This is the sun that's creating this light. That's what you're positing as you engage in this conduct. Okay, so you have what is the directed light with the staircase, with the pattern of the staircase on that ground, which what you're seeing in that video. And this is remaining since 10 a.m. So this is after 11 a.m. This is the ongoing, and this is also different. The state did not engage in putting light there before. The state engaged in covering the face of the elevator, which is entirely impossible. So the state engaged in now putting it on the floor in front of the elevator. The state engaged in making that light brighter and bigger. The state has, through after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, keeping light over that same staircase, and this is for hours. Okay, well, by the way, you're also comparing the state's fake sun is also directly over the building of 507 North Euclid Avenue. Now, if the actual sun is over 507 North Euclid Avenue, that light activity is not going to result. through the ceiling of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. It is physically over a different building. Okay, and that's clearly captured in the video, and it is remaining there for the duration of the day as long as I am there, and then it proceeds to, at that moment, remove itself from the top of that building and move in real time as I am moving to keep in direct alignment with me, which you see as I move from 507 North Euclid Avenue, and it is nowhere in that direction. It's directly over my head as I have traveled either north or south from that location. And so, like I said, I'm just pointing out what it is that you are observing, what it is I am revealing with what the state is doing with light. And this is significant because it is speaking to what is the criminal activity of the people of the state. This is why you're stalking with light on such a massive scale. Okay, the purpose of using a fake sun is for engagement on a massive scale, the engagement in the creation of light activity, which is how you are monitoring with communication devices as the people of the state are perpetually in relevant position. That is, they are perpetually stalking vicariously on behalf of that entity that is keeping that light source on my head, keeping that light activity all around me wherever I go, amplifying audible activity that the people that are perpetually present in relevant position are intentionally creating with simultaneity to what it is that I'm doing physically and on my communication device on the venue of the internet, while they are engaging in ongoing audible activity creation. This is the engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring as an entity, light, activity, and relevant positioning. It is entirely demonic, all right? It is entirely demented conduct. As you are following someone, as they make any move, as they engage in conduct on a communication device, you are immediately following that conduct with noise. That's demented, that's demonic. It's serving criminal monitoring purposes. They're monitoring under 18 U.S.C, but it's demonic. That action of following someone, they long press on a screen in order to download a file, and you're creating noise as they do that. That's demonic. Okay, that's entirely demented conduct. And you're imagining in your mind an entire group doing that everywhere that you are going, 24 hours a day. And during the day, that which is not the sun is remaining over your head everywhere you go. And you're seeing when you should be covered underneath shade, there is no shade. This light is invading every space that you're going. You're surrounded by your shadow, which is surrounding your body, which your shadow is above your head on the ceilings. You're looking at what is light, which is unnatural occurring, and this is everywhere you go. This is terrorism. That's demonic activity, and this is how you are terrorizing an American citizen. Okay, this is what the entity is engaging in. That is an ongoing communication of a threat, and it is an absolutely impossible light. And this is the threat that the people wage while they are outwardly failing at conducting themselves because they don't have any form. When you are stripping down the environment, which is revealing the truth of what is ongoing, what they are actually doing. And there is absolutely no form. There is no form where the government's criminal pattern of conduct is established, and that is long established. I'm showing you what are psychopaths that surround. A psychopath is synonymous with a demon-possessed individual. Okay, that demon possession is invisible. You can't see that. You are looking at the environment. You're looking at the conduct, which is consistent. There is no deviation from the ongoing pattern of conduct, that behavioral pattern. It is consistent. All right, so you're looking at what are psychopaths that surround in an entirely unnatural environment, which is also speaking to the condition of those individuals that surround. You're in a demonic environment. You're surrounded by demonic possessed individuals who are stalking maliciously. All right, and this is the state's ongoing criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking, which exceeds that. I'm speaking to policy to be enforced as you are looking at the malice with which the entity acts. It's 12:26 p.m. and I just wanted to point that out. That's what I captured in video. The ongoing presence, it's impossible because this is light which would not occur even if the sun was physically over the building of 215 E.C. Street. I have already shown the fact that where I'm nowhere near 215 E.C. Street, there's not even a sun in that direction, okay? And so you have what is the state's light source on the opposite end of the street, the south end of Euclid Avenue, moving west up Holt Boulevard to be over the Stater Brothers parking lot at 646 West Holt. When I have shown for the past several days, the state's fake sun, all right? The state's fake sun is not even in that direction. All right, but it's over 507 North Euclid and remained from morning until late evening, okay, until I left that venue. not even in the direction of the library, let alone the museum. Certainly not west behind me at 646 West Holt Boulevard. Okay, it remained over 507. Didn't even go west on, didn't even get to Holt Boulevard because I never went that direction. It remained over me. But yet you have it in the morning, I'm capturing it. And what else am I also capturing? Video of that ongoing impossible light activity. Shadow lifted up on the wall in front of me, shadow on the ground in front of me. Fake sun over the parking lot. State also flying over that parking lot in aircrafts. Okay, I've already heavily documented that area of Hope Boulevard and the state keeping its fake sun as I go east and west of Hope Boulevard, north and south on Bonneview, and now I've done east, north, and south of Euclid Avenue. I've also, this is the same thing when I'm at the Euclid Public Library. The state's fake sun over that library, aiming impossible light inside of that library, and that is in total conflict with ever being over the museum. But this is what the state is engaging in, let alone way down at the south end of Euclid Avenue over Economy Inn. Okay, so you're remembering everything that has already been published, and this is how you are looking at and understanding what the state is doing with light. Let alone the fact that it's a scientific fact that the actual sun is not over any of these addresses where I am. All right, this is not Erica Lorraine Spencer publishing the pattern of conduct of the state of California, trying to prove that that's not the sun. That's not what I'm doing. It's a scientific fact that that's not the sun. It's not a mystery where the actual sun is located. Okay, that's not a question. That's not a reasonable question, and that's not what I'm showing. I am revealing a pattern of conduct by the state that is clearly stalking with a light source, showing that it is demented, and this is an entity acting vicariously through a people who are demented, stalking with light in the ways that they have at their disposal. Okay, that's exactly what I'm showing. In addition to what is the asininity with which they engage in this demented pattern of conduct, it defies common sense. It is absolutely illogical. You do not even have to be an attorney. You do not have to have the training of in the law in order to break this down. It's very, very basic. I'm just showing you what it is that you're looking at and the guise under which public corruption has been existing in plain sight. Okay? Because of the assumptions that we make every day, and you just accept what it is that you're looking at and you don't question it. And not only that, when you have a whole bunch of people that are claiming one thing as opposed to versus one individual, you're going to automatically go toward, and I'm letting you know, though, no, that is not accurate, and that is not just, and that is not actually the truth. Okay, so it's 12:30 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, Erica Lorraine Spencer here. It is currently 4:53 p.m. I just want to specifically document this, the ongoing monitoring in violation of federal law, criminal monitoring by the people of the state at third-party facilitating venue, Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, and I took a screenshot. I have documented this before, but I am documenting an entity, and I want you to see the psychopaths that I'm dealing with, and this is also indicative of the reality contrary in direct contrast to the outward form that psychopaths take, as though they are just working at the library, they're just looking for a book, they're just sitting next to you studying, they're just walking to the bathroom, they're just chasing after their kid back and forth while they're crossing paths and doing so with simultaneity under a fake sun and directed light where multiple shadows are surrounding. Okay, the monitoring conduct is also that which is indicative of what they are doing, and it took 3 hours to upload a video that's less than 3 minutes long. Now, I just want to be clear, I'm on my Galaxy A12, and no, this is not the brand new iPhone, but this is an excellent system, and the internet, there is no, the 4G is, it is excellent enough, and it does not take not even 3 minutes to upload that video. And so I took screenshots of that so you can see. This is monitoring. That's what monitoring is, okay? And by the way, I'm on the second floor, meaning the bottom level of the library, multiple shadows while I'm standing in here, while I'm sitting in here. And they are also, they meaning the people, these weirdos are knocking, well, this is the sound that you hear. It sounds as though they're knocking on the desk. And they're using that as a means of stalking with activity. Now, the state engages in artificially creating activity, but I have seen these minions literally engage. They're like an army of demon-possessed psychopaths, and they're sitting around in the library, and they're all just stalking with activity. Now, but for one who is documenting it and exposing it, they are weirdos. and that's a weirdo, and I'm the only one that's around to speak to what is wrong with the people of the state that's around. And they're sitting around in the library stalking with activity, knocking on the desk. They start talking based on what I'm doing. Talking is audible activity, okay? And this is how they are stalking with activity, and it took 3 hours to upload the video, the specific one that you'll see in the screenshots. 2021-08-26, and the timestamp is 08:52 and 19 seconds. And this is the one where the state's fake Zen is directly over 630 North Fern Avenue, and that is impossible to quote. And I went through the recitation of the impossibility of that and the significance of it. And so uploading this video, and you'll see the time, 1:17 p.m. I believe I take the first screenshot. It's 4:56 p.m. right now, and it took an estimated 3 hours to upload one single video to YouTube. And so I just want to be clear, that is what monitoring is, all right? And this is what they are doing. That is also the direct evidence against the people of the state. It is 4:56 p.m. and that is P.O.C. It is currently 8:59 p.m. Group stalkers meeting at the intersection. License 8LJW. What is this? 8JJW001, 8TTH297. They're just like cockroaches. They're all just sitting around waiting for me to come to the intersection, and then they all come. 6RIN082, 5JOR477, 8MPG911, 8VAT304. This is Metro 102 Apartments, engaging in federal stalking, this entire venue. 280 North Limit Apartments, this entire venue. Okay, patrolling on what is B Street, and it's sitting in their cars, using their cars for light activity. State's patrolling in the sky space, and they're patrolling in vehicles. This is called an ambush by the people. This is terrorism. 7VFZ948. It's P.O.C. It is 9 p.m. on the dot, and I have just left Ontario Open Family Community Library. So the people are stalking with communication devices, and they're stalking relevant position, directed light, 7WKK862. So as they're driving by, the state is sweeping directed light all over the place. PJH3627. SFW522. These are demon-possessed individuals that I am documenting. They're engaging in criminal activity, but I'm going to tell you their secret. These are demon-possessed individuals engaging in the satanic stalking. It's 9:01 p.m. Excuse me. Yeah, there was one that's sitting over here stalking with their headlights on. They're still sitting over here. I'm going to document that. License plate 5NLD556. Directed light on this brick wall back here while they're patrolling in the parking lot of Metro 102. This is license plate 7SFW522, in case I didn't get that one already. I feel like I read that one already. Directed light is all over the brick wall behind them, using their reverse lights as light activity. 8PVB020.
Why are you taking that one?
Everybody in relevant positions, stalkers like this one. 7XFL094. That's audible activity while there's directed light on the walls. This is light activity right here. 7SFW522 and gigantic shadows on the wall. That's the state's directed light. That's P.O.C. It's 9:02 p.m. Okay, bye, Satan. You and your minionite. You're a stalker, honey. And she's monitoring with the minor child. That's what I want to document. Monitoring with the minor child and engaging in criminal defamation. I'll see you soon. It is 9:02 p.m. Sitting, stalking around in a black parking lot. Multiple shadows on the ground. Directed light all over the brick wall. And that's what third parties speak and act like. That's demonic activity. All right, that's asking, oh, would you like a breakfast burrito? You want some orange juice? You want to go with me to the mall? While directed light is streaming all across the brick wall. That's the same sort of conduct. That's Amtrak while a group stalker in the Metro 102 apartments is patrolling. Stalker, same group, okay? Same group. And then they get out the car. Why are you documenting my license plate? That's the P.O.C. That's Amtrak. Okay, so understand when you're documenting the entity, the Amtrak is just as much a creeper cockroach right around here patrolling around in the dark with them. This Amtrak is the provision, the guise under which the state is creating that amplified noise, because that's what Amtrak is, and Amtrak's not ignorant of that. All right, so that's the P.O.C. That is stalking. They're physically here stalking. Understand, Amtrak is stalking as well. It's 9:03 p.m. KQL 792. One 6872 P2. It's 9:04 p.m. So I'm proceeding right now. I'm proceeding what is south on Lemon at 9:04 p.m. All right, I did capture what was videos, the state flying right over my head, right as I crossed the street. Understand that's exactly what third parties were doing as I approached the intersection of B Street and Lemon. As soon as I got to the intersection, the cockroaches came out like a cookie, all right? And like they're looking for food as soon as I got there, and they all come together, all right? These are demons that I'm dealing with and that I'm documenting. It's demonic activity, but you can prosecute it because it's criminal conduct that they're engaging in, but this is entirely demonic. And that's exactly what the state did. As soon as I crossed the street, the state is hovering over 150 East Holt, the public health department building, where the state's fake sun I've captured in the morning and then later in the evening. Same exact position, and I showed you that on picture and video. Where the state is flying right there, where I'm standing there, that's where the state flew right there. That's the exact same conduct that third parties just did all together. All right, stalking. P.O.C. It's 9:07 p.m. Okay, it's 9:08 p.m. I am proceeding what would be west on Transit. And so I want to be clear, what you are witnessing on the traffic cameras, which is ongoing documentation of criminal activity as to where I'm located, that's where the P.O.C. is concentrated. They're engaging in criminal activity. So what you're looking at are the people of the state of California are engaging in surveillance as they are maintaining presence via traffic. Hope Boulevard and Euclid Avenue is a means of ongoing relevant positioning, the ongoing guise behind which the state is amplifying what's supposed to be the sound of traffic, what's supposed to be the sound of everything that you're hearing coming from the people. They are maintaining light activity. Let me get this third party, 6KFF145. So I want to be clear, this is surveillance that you're looking at on the traffic cameras. They're engaging in stalking. This is surveillance. This is terrorism, okay? The state is, and this includes Amtrak, all right? This includes the commercial transit line, Omnitrans, which is stalking right now, all right? At bus stop number 7911, cameras on that bus At 9:09 p.m., they're engaging in federal stalking. They are right in alignment with me. State is stalking via aircraft, and the state is monitoring while they are sitting in relevant position. Being on the job is no form. This is federal stalking that is underway in the state of California, and that's what I'm documenting. And it is ongoing. And so, like I said, and what is occurring right now, Omnitrans is engaged in that ongoing surveillance, that ongoing terrorism, that ongoing stalking. And this is how the people are doing. So I want to be clear what you're looking at. And you're also witnessing what is demonic activity. Okay, the ongoing environment. So this is the guise under which demons are engaging in entirely demented conduct, right? What you're seeing on the traffic cameras is married to the audible activity. It's married to the light activity, which is the environment that they are maintaining presence in. This is stalking, this is surveillance, this is terrorism, all right? And this is demonic activity. That's P.O.C. It is 9:09 p.m. State is flying over the, like I've already shown, but I'm just going to state the obvious because I'm thorough with my documentation. The state is maintaining presence to the people who are sitting in front of the fountain at 9:10 p.m. stalking, all right? You've got a male with a blue shirt on, dark blue tennis shoes, and a female with a lavender shirt, pink sweater. They're sitting in front of the fountain. That's the people, all right? And ongoing directed light is on the grounds. They're stalking. There is no form. You are stalking. And I just want to be clear, they're present. The state is maintaining presence in the sky space as well, all right? The people of the state of California engaging in what is ongoing stalking conduct and maintaining presence. You're not dealing with an ordinary homeless person who's at the area where I usually sleep. You're dealing with a stalker that's engaging in maintaining, first of all, knowing where I'm going, okay, and engaging in sleeping in the place where I ordinarily sleep at the museum. First of all, this is a stalker, all right, and this is the state. I want to be clear, you're dealing with what is intentional conduct. This would be analyzed as not only is it the P.O.C., you're dealing with a method of harassment. It's currently 9:11 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and take an image of this. And by the way, the state's ongoing directed light is present. This is P.O.C., and this is the people. Okay, it's currently 9:11 p.m. I did take an image of that because what I'm capturing is not the fact that I own the museum. That's not my point. The point is this is stalking. And the entity, which is engaged in heavy stalking conduct that I have specifically documented here and everywhere else, but I'm talking about where I'm at right now. You were talking about, first of all, federal stalking. This is the people maintaining presence and coming ahead of schedule. Everywhere that I'm going is not a secret. And they are maintaining presence, and so this is a stalker that is coming ahead of me and also intentionally in the area where I sleep at the museum, okay? So this is the entity that is engaging in the same federal stalking conduct. I want to lay that out first. So this is not about me claiming, it's a tangent. I'm not stating that I have ownership here. Obviously, I'm a transient and I'm sleeping on the grounds, but you're looking at what is the ongoing context, all right? So the context is that this is a stalker that is intentionally present before I get here to sleep in the area where I usually sleep, which is the state's means of engaging in engaging in what is, okay, I can go this way, engaging in what is ongoing, that's a method of harassment. It is the same stalking conduct, but this is also form for, understand the third parties engage in almost, I don't want to say almost, third parties engage in doing what it is that I'm doing, providing form for the pattern of conduct to unfold. So, and I'll just leave it at that. But third parties are acting in concert with the state in every single way, okay? So you're not talking about just some random homeless person that's coming to sleep on the museum grounds. In other words, as I've already shown. And that is unreasonable to suggest anyway, when you're talking about what is federal stalking, which is thoroughly demonstrated, okay? That's amplified audible activity, where it is at this distance where I'm at the museum, and it is literally competing with my voice, where I can barely hear myself, and I'm at a very far distance from what is Euclid Avenue. That's called amplification, all right? It is substantially loud. That's P.O.C., and it's also demonic. This is engaging in the criminal elements is also the method of demonic hostility that's communicated as they're engaging in the very pattern of conduct. It's demonic entirely what they engage in. Anyway, I just want to be clear. I wanted to document that. That's a stalker. All right, that's intentionally coming to just sleep in the area where I sleep. That is the state, that is the state that's engaging in that conduct, and that is the people. It's a communication of hostility. It is reasonably construed as a threat as well. They are acting in concert with the state, all right, and they are engaging in monitoring. They're not sleeping as well. I just want to be clear. First of all, Satan doesn't sleep, and second of all, third-party group stalkers are not sleeping in relevant position. They're not. If I make any move, they engage in the same exact stalking with activity conduct, all right? There is no napping when you are stalking, and I literally mean that. They are not sleeping, and this is the same thing that I experienced when I was in jail. The people of the state are maintaining presence. It is a very diligent stalking system. You're dealing with that which is of the demonic, all right? So they have a wicked inspiration for what they are engaging in, okay? This is an obsession that is born of Satan, all right, that it's compels the people of the state of California. Anyway, it's 9:15 p.m. and that's P.O.C. I am at the venue, and I just wanted to document that. The people maintaining presence sitting at the fountain in relevant position in directed light, stalking with the state that's patrolling via aircraft, and the police who are stalking around in black corners, just like I have consistently documented. That's what they're doing, and they're monitoring through this stalker who is in a tent in the area where I typically sleep. That is the P.O.C., that's the state, and that is a method of engaging in what is targeting conduct. That's a method of harassment. That's the same exact stalking activity, okay? That's P.O.C. I just want to make sure I specifically note that. This is a communication of hostility. I continue to publish documentation online, and I'm going to continue to do that. It's 9:15 p.m., and that's P.O.C.